Starting from zero can be an exciting or daunting prospect depending on your own perspective. And so in this video we'll explore some of the different ways you have to start building up your fortune again as quickly as possible, so that you can go back to being a starship collector again. I'm Forrester, and my channel is all about giving you useful or interesting videos around simulation type games, including Star Citizen. For this video I've included timestamps in the video description to explore the quickest methods for building your fortune. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. That helps you to be notified of future Star Citizen videos such as ship reviews or location spotlights, and helps me to grow the audience. So it's probably important to point out too, before getting too in depth, that there are lots of ways to make money in Star Citizen. And often the best way is not necessarily the one that makes the most money per hour, but probably the one you enjoy doing the most. So whilst I'll not be covering box delivery contracts for this video for example, if you enjoy them, have at it. And whilst this video provides an overview for each option in the interests of keeping as brief as possible, you might like to then seek out a more detailed guide, many of which are available on this channel. For many players, the mainstay of earning money in 3.17 will still be ship combat contracts with the Bounty Hunter Guild. Particularly when you get to very high risk or extreme high risk contracts as your reputation builds, this is one of the highest alpha UEC per hour methods of earning money. And naturally, it helps that reputation wasn't wiped during the patch. If you're looking to build your fortune as quickly as possible, even if it's just to open up some of the other methods of making money, combat contracts are a good starting point. Moreover, the ramping difficulty means it's fairly accessible, no matter what ships you have available to you as pledge. Your goal should be to reach a good combat tier for your ship type. My suggestion would be at least medium risk targets for most ships. You do this by completing contracts of whatever tier you have unlocked to build your reputation with the Bounty Hunter Guild. Once your reputation levels up, a contract becomes available, which is your certification to hunt targets at the next difficulty level for a greater reward. The advantage of the combat contracts are that you don't need a lot of starting capital in order to get started, and all you're really risking is your character life and ship insurance timer. It's also one of the most profitable options out there once you get to the higher tiers. The disadvantage is simply the saturation of players seeking to complete these missions. If all 50 people on the server are flying around in the same place as you, hoovering up the missions as they come up, it can sometimes limit the choice you have available. More recently, many players have been making their money through ground combat missions. Not only is the payout for the mission itself fairly generous, but through clearing the various bunkers and targets, you'll get your hands on items and equipment that you can subsequently sell to vendors in the game. You'll need to take different security assessments to unlock more contracts, but generally speaking you take the mission, fly to the area, kill the enemies, and then walk around looting the boxes and bodies. Many players look to save time by tractor beaming defeated enemies and their weapons to bring them back to the ship more quickly. And that looting component is one of the most profitable elements by the time you've sold the various loot, so you'll want to maximise that. You don't need much to get started, just a ship to get to the location and some armour and weapons. You might also want a backpack, some medpens and a tractor beam, and depending on your level of skill, you might find taking a ship with a functional medical bed like a Carrack to be advantageous. This is one of the more accessible game loops, and so is a popular choice for making money. But if lots of people on your server are opting for security work, you might not get as much opportunity in your contracts. And you'll need to be very careful not to accidentally shoot friendly forces in the area, lest you end up trying the Klesher prison gameplay loop. But let's say you're not big into combat and much prefer to earn your living peacefully. Well, mining might be a good option for you. There are a couple of barriers to entry here. First, you need a mining capable vehicle. If you don't have one as part of your pledge package, your options to rent a prospector for at least 51,000 alpha UEC or a rock for just over 4,000 alpha UEC. Both can be rented from a refinery station. If you rent a rock, you'll need a ship capable of carrying it, such as a Mercury Star Runner or Cutlass Black. Once again, if you don't have one, you'll need to rent one, which is an initial outlay. There are plenty of mining guides out there, including one on my channel, so I'll not go into too much detail. But suffice to say, whether you're refining your ore or selling directly, a full cargo hold worth of ore can be a nice boost to your finances, especially in the early hours after the patch. The advantage of making money through mining is that you're often not as directly competing with other players. You can usually find somewhere quiet to go and mine undisturbed, especially if you stay off the beaten path, and therefore you're not worrying about somebody else taking all of the contracts, for example. The disadvantage is just the barrier to entry, requiring the right hardware. That said, having mining ships is often a good way to make money in a more relaxed fashion, and a permanent in-game purchase of the rock for 172,000 Alpha UEC or Prospector for 2 million Alpha UEC might be a sensible investment. For many players, the idea of space trucking whilst watching some Netflix is an appealing option for making money. And certainly, more features have come online to protect the humble trader, for example with server crash protection. With the right route and the right scale, cargo trading also has the potential to be hugely profitable. However, cargo hauling still relies on having a considerable sum of money available to sink into your cargo. That means you'll either need to start very small, or you'll need to make your initial capital investment of Alpha UEC through one of the other methods. You're also still at risk running cargo on your ship, not so much from server crashes but from other players. And with many less than savoury players flying around, there's certainly that risk to cargo running. The other challenge will be identifying profitable routes with sufficient stock to net you a decent profit at the end. That said, the money to be made trading cargo can be considerable under the right conditions, so many players may still choose it. And finally, although it's not the most reliable way to earn money, it can also be the most profitable, and that's to take part in periodic events that are run by the Star Citizen team. Whether that's Xenothreat, Jumptown, Ninetales or the Siege of Orison, these events often include generous payouts with a very limited barrier to entry, and can be a great way to build up a lot of funds quickly. The main disadvantage is that the events only run periodically, and so aren't necessarily available when you'd like them the most. I look forward to reading in the comments if you think I missed anything, or most especially if you have any top tips for building that cash up quickly. Hopefully you found this little recap of the most profitable options helpful. If so, please press that like button as it helps me to know what sort of thing you're finding most useful. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed, and as ever, thank you for watching.